everyone. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. It's Isabel Harris. You know, a while back, when I first started making videos, I did a little series on why am I unhappy? That's what I titled it. And I had 3 different videos explaining the primary reasons that Christians in particular find themselves in so much unhappiness and depression. So this video is kind of going to piggyback off that a little bit. But what I want to talk about today is the subject of consumers versus givers. You know, there's an old saying that says givers have to set limits because takers never will. And isn't that the truth? Well, you know, we live in a very consumer driven society, a very narcissistic, selfish type existence nowadays. Everything is we want more, we want the latest and greatest, we want the name brand, we want the expensive things, you know, and we just expect everything so quickly. A lot of young people want what it took their parents a whole lifetime to acquire. So everything is immediate gratification and a lot of me thinking and consuming that's never ending consumption. So what has happened, I believe, is that's kind of bled over into the church world. So we've got 2 types of Christians we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the consumers or the takers and the givers. And what I just want to release to you today, hopefully this will help someone. You know, I've walked into church before and really not had a very good attitude and, you know, kind of like, you know, this, I just ain't feeling it today or whatever. And, you know, I got rebuked one time by the Lord because it was like, what are you here for? Are you here to just be a sponge and take and consume? Is this music about you or is this music about me? You know, what are you here for? Your life is to be poured out for me. So I am here on the earth, a born again, spirit filled Christian, to produce, to pour out. And if I'm not pouring out and producing for the kingdom, then I'm not going to be happy. I can still be a Christian and not do those things, but I'm not going to be a happy Christian. You know, think of pond water. It's pretty just stagnant and icky, right? So it's no good just sitting there. It has no life. So we are to be a river. We are to be flowing, moving, producing, pouring out, always. And as we are giving of our lives, that's where fulfillment will come from. And so in the church world, I just want to encourage you, if you are feeling stuck or unhappy, are you pouring out? Are you being utilized in your giftings and callings? Are you doing something to be productive? And you know, it's not required. I'm not going to say that doing things is required. What I am saying is that if you are not producing and multiplying in your life in all sorts of areas, then you're not going to be very fulfilled. And I want to read some scripture about this. First is Luke 6:38. And that is saying, if you will give, it will be given back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will men give unto your bosom. With the same measure that you use, it'll be measured back to you. And a lot of people use that scripture for money, you know, saying, well, if you give, then you'll receive back more. It can be used in that way, but I'm talking about your life. If you want to have a full and abundant life, you have to always be giving and always be pouring out to receive back those blessings from the Lord. That is just a biblical principle that we all have to follow. You know, unfortunately, I've heard it said that between 10 and 20% of the people in a church do 100% of the work. And you know, every church that I've been in since I've been a believer, that's pretty much been the truth. And over the years, I can be honest, there's been points of time that I really wasn't doing a whole lot and I was letting other people carry the weight because I had some personal things going on in my life and I just didn't feel like I could I could give that much. But then, as you mature and as you grow, you should be hooking in and doing your part. Pray to God and ask Him what it is and how you can be pouring out, because you want to be a giver, not just a consumer taker in the kingdom. There's also another scripture I want to read about this, and I love this, and it's Proverbs chapter 11. I'm going to read it in the New King James and also in the Passion, but this really spells out this point I'm trying to make. Okay, Proverbs 11:25 is, "The generous soul will be made rich." The Old King James says fat. "And he who waters will himself also be watered." So as you're pouring out and producing in others' lives, then you're going to receive back, and you're going to also be watered. Your life is going to be blessed and fulfilled as you pour out. And if you're not pouring out, you're going to clog up the line here, okay? So then I want to read that in the Passion, and I'm going to read 24 and 25 in the Passion, because it's so great how it's written. Okay, "Generosity brings prosperity, but withholding from charity brings poverty. Those who live to bless others will have blessings heaped upon them. And the one who pours out his life," there it is, "to pour out blessings will be saturated with favor." So when you live to bless and to pour out, then it is going to come back to you in the form of favor and blessings on your life. It's a wonderful deal. But the understood if there is, you have to be pouring out. You have to be doing this. If a farmer wants a crop, he has to go sow something, doesn't he? He can't just stand back and go, "I can't wait for those potatoes to come up or those tomatoes," if he has never went out there and tilled the ground and sowed something and actually did something to reap something back. Okay? And years ago, I was a part of a company called Home Interiors, and some of you ladies watching, you will probably remember Home Interiors. I don't even know if they're around anymore, because now we have Hobby Lobby and all these different type stores. But the lady that started the Home Interiors company was a Christian, a single Christian woman who built a very successful business. But she had twin goalposts, like picture a football goalpost. And she said that the Lord showed her if she would aim right in the middle, that she would be successful and she would be blessed. One goalpost was, does this honor God? My decision making, the way that I'm living my life, does it honor God? And the other goalpost on the other side was, does it bless and serve others? Wow. So she built her business between those two goalposts. Every decision she made, everything she did, she would ask herself, does it honor God? Does it bless and serve other people? I want to live my life that way. I want to continually be pouring out. I don't want to be a consumer driven Christian. I don't want to go in and sit down on a pew and act like a sponge and say, "What do you guys got? What do you got?" No, I want to be continually pouring out so that I can have these promises, like it says in Proverbs 11:24 and 25, that I will bless and then I will receive blessing in return. And my life is going to be so much happier, so much more fulfilled, and so much more blessed. And I want to submit this to y'all today, because the same will happen in your life. So I just want to challenge you, ask yourself that question. Am I primarily a consumer driven Christian, or am I a giving Christian? Am I giving my life away the way that God intended me to? So I love you guys. I bless you with this. I thank you for joining me today. I always appreciate everyone watching. Please like these videos. Please share the videos if you think they'll help someone you know. And please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I bless you. I'll see you next week.